chosen one, I need your complete attention for what I am about to reveal, because what you are about to discover about your true identity will explain absolutely everything you have been feeling for as long as you can remember. That persistent sensation that you don't belong here. This inexplicable weight you carry, that devastating loneliness even when you are surrounded by people, it is not your imagination. You are not crazy, and you are definitely not like the others. You are an incarnated angel. And when I say angel, I am not using poetic metaphor to make you feel special. I am literally revealing what you are, a celestial being who took human form to fulfill a mission so specific that Lucifer himself, the Prince of Darkness, has spent his entire existence trying to destroy you before you discover who you really are. And here is what will disturb you most. He doesn't attack you out of random hatred. He attacks you because your mere existence on this planet is a direct threat to everything he has built over millennia. Because when an incarnated angel fully awakens to their true identity, hell literally trembles. Subscribe to this channel immediately and hit that notification bell, because what I am about to show you about your angelic nature will connect every loose piece of your life, every inexplicable rejection, every devastating betrayal, every moment where you felt like the entire universe was conspiring against you. It all makes perfect sense when you understand that you are not a regular human, living a difficult life. You are a celestial warrior operating in enemy territory. Stay until the end, because I am going to reveal exactly how to identify if you are truly an incarnated angel, why Lucifer invests massive resources trying to destroy you before your complete awakening, what your specific mission is on this planet, and what will happen when you finally activate the powers that have been dormant your entire life. Write 777 in the comments if you felt your whole life that you came here with a purpose you cannot fully remember, as if you have a mission engraved on your soul, but the memory is blocked. Let me start by showing you something organized religions never explained correctly. The Bible repeatedly mentions that angels took human form and walked among us without most people recognizing them. Hebrews 13 verse 2 says explicitly, "Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it." Do you realize what this means? Angels walking in human bodies, living apparently normal lives but with hidden celestial purposes, and most people around them never knew the truth. Now ask yourself something. Why would the Bible feel the need to mention this repeatedly if it were an extremely rare event? It wouldn't mention it so much if it weren't a phenomenon that continues happening, and it wouldn't ask you to show hospitality to strangers because they could be angels if incarnated angels weren't currently among us. But here is what no religious institution will tell you. Not all incarnated angels consciously know what they are. Most live decades feeling profoundly different, alienated, as if they are playing a role in a theater piece where everyone else knows their lines except you. Do you recognize that feeling? And there is a devastating reason why your celestial memory is blocked. Because if you knew since childhood what you really are, dark forces would eliminate you before you could fulfill your mission. The memory block isn't punishment, it is protection. Your human consciousness needed to develop enough so that when you finally awaken, you have the emotional and spiritual maturity to handle the truth without breaking. But the awakening always comes, and when it comes, everything changes irreversibly. So let me show you the 7 irrefutable signs that you are an incarnated angel, and I warn you, the more of these signs you recognize in yourself, the clearer your true identity will be. And once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it again. First sign, deep ontological loneliness. I am not talking about social loneliness, where you simply don't have enough friends. I am talking about existential loneliness, where even surrounded by people who love you, you feel an emptiness that no one can fill. As if part of you belongs somewhere else and constantly misses a home. You cannot remember where it is. Regular humans experience loneliness when they are physically isolated. Incarnated angels experience loneliness even in crowds because your vibrational frequency is different, your origin is different. And no matter how hard you try to connect deeply with others, there is always a part of you that remains inaccessible to them. It is not because you are antisocial, it is because you literally come from a different dimension. Second sign, empathy that destroys. It is not normal sensitivity. It is the ability to feel others' emotions with such intensity that it physically overwhelms you. You walk into a room and automatically absorb the pain, anguish, joy of everyone present, and you cannot turn it off. Regular humans feel their own emotions. Incarnated angels feel everyone's emotions. It is both gift and curse simultaneously. Gift because it transforms you into a natural healer. Curse because it leaves you constantly exhausted. How many times have you left a social gathering feeling drained, even though you didn't do anything physically tiring? You weren't tired from social interaction. You were exhausted because you unconsciously processed the emotional loads of every person present. Third sign, inexplicable rejection since childhood. And I am not talking about common bullying where cruel kids pick on the weak. I am talking about something darker, visceral rejection that certain people felt toward you for no apparent reason, as if your mere presence bothered them at a level they couldn't explain. Do you remember that family member who always treated you differently, even though you never did anything? That teacher who seemed to have a personal problem with you for no reason. Those classmates who excluded you even though you were kind. It wasn't personal, it was spiritual. Certain people react negatively to incarnated angels because their souls unconsciously recognize that your light exposes their darkness. Your elevated frequency is unbearable for them, and instead of facing their own shadows, they attack the light that reveals them. They didn't reject you for what you did. They rejected you for what you are. Fourth sign, aversion to falseness that is physically impossible for you to tolerate. You cannot fake it. You cannot wear social masks. You cannot participate in collective hypocrisy without feeling literal nausea. While everyone else seems capable of lying politely, smiling falsely, acting roles they are not, you simply cannot do it without feeling like you are betraying something fundamental in your core. Regular humans learn quickly that social survival requires a certain level of falseness. Incarnated angels can never learn that lesson because it is programmed in your celestial essence to operate solely from truth. Even when truth costs you relationships, jobs, social acceptance, you would rather be alone being authentic than accompanied living a lie. Fifth sign, supernatural gifts that appear spontaneously. Maybe it is intuition so precise you know things you shouldn't know. Maybe it is the ability to heal simply by placing your hands on someone. Maybe it is that animals are inexplicably attracted to you. Maybe it is that plants flourish when you touch them. You didn't learn these abilities. You didn't study them. They have simply always been there, because they are part of your angelic nature filtering through your human form. Sixth sign, intensified spiritual attacks. I am not talking about common bad luck. I am talking about patterns where just when you are about to achieve something significant, everything mysteriously collapses. Relationships that should work explode for no reason. Guaranteed opportunities evaporate. Your health fails exactly when you need it most. Regular humans face random obstacles. Incarnated angels face systematic opposition because hell assigns demons specifically to sabotage your mission. You are not paranoid. You really are being attacked, and the intensity of attacks is proportional to the importance of your mission. The more they attack you, the more important you are. And seventh sign, homesickness for heaven without knowing exactly what you miss. It is a persistent sensation that this world isn't your true home, that you are temporarily here but belong somewhere else. And sometimes, especially in moments of quiet, you feel devastating nostalgia for something you cannot identify. It is not depression, it is cellular memory. Your soul remembers celestial dimensions where you existed before incarnating, and part of you constantly wants to return even though you cannot articulate where there is. If you recognize 5 or more of these signs in your life, the probability that you are an incarnated angel isn't speculation, it is certainty. But now comes the question you need to understand with absolute clarity. Why would you voluntarily incarnate on this dense, painful planet full of darkness when you existed in celestial dimensions of pure light? And here is the answer that will completely change how you see your life. You came on a rescue mission. Earth is going through a critical evolutionary transition. Humanity faces a collective decision point where it either evolves to higher consciousness or collapses into total darkness. And this balance isn't decided in celestial realms. It is decided here, on this physical plane, by incarnated souls making choices moment by moment. But most humans are so spiritually asleep, they cannot elevate the planet's frequency alone. They need help. They need anchors of light. They need beings who can sustain celestial frequencies, even in the middle of terrestrial chaos. You are one of those anchors. You voluntarily left dimensions of light, peace, unconditional love. You accepted temporarily forgetting who you are. You agreed to experience rejection, betrayal, pain, loneliness, all to be physically present on this planet during its most critical moment, to sustain light where others only see darkness, to remember hope when everyone else surrenders to despair. You didn't come here for an easy life. You came for an impossible mission, and you accepted it knowing exactly how difficult it would be. For those who want to go deeper, there is exclusive material in the description and pinned comment. Now, let me reveal something about Lucifer that explains why his envy of you is so devastating. He was an angel too. In fact, he was the most beautiful, the most powerful, the closest to God. But his fall wasn't an accident, it was a choice based on pride, on desire to be worshipped instead of worshipping, on ambition to replace the Creator. And when he fell, he didn't fall alone. He dragged with him a third of celestial angels who became what we now call demons. But here is what consumes him with envy. You made the opposite choice. You chose to descend voluntarily, not through fall, but through love. Not to rebel against God, but to serve him on a rescue mission, not to exalt yourself, but to humble yourself by taking limited human form. You are everything he could have been if he had chosen love over pride, and your mere existence is a constant reminder of his failure. That is why he attacks you with such intensity. It is not random hatred, it is corrosive envy. He sees in you the glory he lost, and he cannot stand it. So he invests massive resources to destroy you before you fully awaken, because he knows something you might not know yet. When an incarnated angel fully remembers who they are and activates their dormant powers, they become a threat that hell cannot control, and you are closer to that awakening than you imagine. Now, let me show you what happens when an incarnated angel fully awakens, because you need to understand what is coming to your life, and I warn you, what is coming isn't easier. It is more powerful, and there is a crucial difference between both. First, transformation immunity to spiritual manipulation. All those attacks that devastated you before, those curses that affected you, those negative energies that drained you suddenly ricochet without touching you, not because you built shields, But because your awakened angelic frequency operates at such an elevated level, that low-level darkness simply cannot reach you. It is like trying to infect with a virus designed for an old operating system. A computer running completely new technology. The attack arrives, but finds nothing to adhere to. Second, transformation, devastating clarity about your mission. That confusion you have carried your whole life about why you are here suddenly dissolves, and in its place appears crystalline knowledge about exactly what you came to do. It is not vague, it is specific, and it comes with clear instructions that reveal themselves step by step. You will not know everything immediately, but you will know the next step, and when you complete that step, the following one will reveal itself. It is like walking in fog where you only see 3 meters ahead, but those 3 meters are enough to advance. And as you advance, 3 more meters illuminate. Third, transformation, amplified spiritual magnetism. The right people will start appearing in your life with impossible synchronicity. I am not talking about cute coincidences. I am talking about encounters so perfectly orchestrated, you will know without doubt that celestial forces are moving pieces to connect you with who you need to meet. And, at the same time, incorrect people will exit your life, sometimes painfully, sometimes abruptly, because your elevated frequency is no longer compatible with their density, and although it hurts, it is necessary cleansing. Fourth, transformation, activation of dormant gifts. Those abilities you had in weak form suddenly amplify exponentially. If you had light intuition, it becomes precise clairvoyance. If you had strong empathy, it converts to ability to heal with your presence. If you had connection with animals, it expands to communication with all nature. They are not new powers you acquire. They are angelic powers you always had, but were blocked for your protection. Now that you are strong enough to handle them, they activate fifth transformation. Deepened sacred solitude, and I know this seems contradictory after telling you the right people will arrive, but both things are true simultaneously. You will meet souls who resonate with you, but most of the time you will be alone, because your mission requires you to sustain frequencies that very few can sustain with you. Incarnated angels operate better in solitude than humans do. It is not punishment. It is your natural environment. You learn to love solitude not as absence of company, but as presence of the divine. And sixth, transformation, unshakable peace in the middle of chaos. The world can collapse around you, people can betray you, circumstances can become devastating, but something in your core remains serene because you reconnected with that part of you that never left heaven. And from that place, nothing external can really disturb you. It is not that you become insensitive, it is that you anchor in something deeper than temporary storms. But with all these transformations comes responsibility. You cannot evade. And this is where many incarnated angels fail. Because one thing is discovering, you are an angel. Something completely different is living as an angel in a world that rewards demonic behavior. Your first responsibility is radical authenticity at any cost. You cannot compromise your truth to fit in. You cannot lower your frequency to make people living in density feel comfortable. You cannot pretend to be less than you are to not threaten fragile egos. Many will say you are arrogant, that you think you are superior, that you need to be more humble, but they confuse humility with smallness. True humility is honestly recognizing what you are without inflating or diminishing. And if you are an incarnated angel, pretending to be less is a lie as big as pretending to be more. Your second responsibility is service without sacrifice. Yes, you came to help. Yes, your mission involves elevating others, but you didn't come to destroy yourself in the process. Too many incarnated angels confuse service with self-annihilation. They completely empty themselves trying to save everyone, and when they collapse, exhausted, their light goes out and they cannot help anyone anymore. You have to learn sacred balance between giving and receiving, between serving and being served, between sustaining light for others and recharging your own battery, because if your light goes out, darkness wins. Your third responsibility is brutal discernment about who you help. You cannot save everyone, and you are not supposed to. Some people are destined to remain in darkness because their souls chose that experience for their own learning. And if you try to rescue those who didn't ask to be rescued, you not only waste your energy, you interfere with their process. Learn to distinguish between who is truly ready to elevate and who just wants to vampirize your energy without doing their own work. The former will thank you eternally. The latter will hate you for not saving them from themselves. And your fourth responsibility is sustaining light, even when no one recognizes it. Most of your work will be invisible. You will not receive applause. They will not give you awards. Many of the people you help will never know you helped them. And you have to be okay with that. Angels don't operate for external recognition. They operate by internal mandate. Your reward doesn't come from human validation. It comes from alignment with your celestial purpose. Now let me reveal something about your immediate future that you need to understand with absolute clarity, because the signs are already appearing, and if you don't know how to interpret them, you might confuse blessing with curse. In the coming cycles, your life will reorganize dramatically in 3 specific areas. And although it seems chaotic while happening, it is divine order manifesting. In the relationship area, you will experience painful separations followed by miraculous connections. People you thought would be with you forever will exit your life, sometimes with conflict, sometimes simply disappearing, and it will hurt, but don't try to hold them. They are leaving because their frequency is no longer compatible with your awakening. And if you force it, you will only delay the inevitable while exhausting yourself trying to maintain something that is already over. Trust the process. Because just when you think you are completely alone, people who understand your language without you having to explain will start appearing, souls who recognize your life because they also carry it. And these connections will be deeper than any superficial relationship you lost. In the purpose and work area, you will feel growing dissatisfaction with anything not aligned with your real mission. Jobs you previously tolerated will suddenly become unbearable. Careers you invested years building will lose all meaning, and you will feel internal urgency to change everything, even though you don't know exactly to what. Don't resist this restlessness. It is your soul reminding you that you didn't come here to waste life on things that don't matter. And although it is scary to release known security, staying in the incorrect place is more dangerous than venturing into the unknown. Opportunities will start appearing. Maybe they will not be what you expected. Maybe they will seem risky, but you will recognize they resonate with something deep in you. Follow them, even if they don't make logical sense. And in the inner peace area, you will notice that chronic anxiety you have carried your whole life begins gradually dissolving. Those obsessive thought patterns that robbed your sleep lose their power. That constant sensation of danger is replaced by inexplicable trust. It is not that external challenges necessarily decrease. It is that your relationship with them changes completely because you reconnected with that part of you that is eternal, indestructible, divine, and from that place, nothing temporal can really destroy you. But there is something more you need to know about your awakening, and this is crucial. You are not alone in this. There are other incarnated angels awakening simultaneously around the planet. Not many, but enough. And they are being subtly guided to recognize each other. Because when two or more conscious incarnated angels connect, they create an energetic field so powerful it can transform entire cities. It is not exaggeration, it is real spiritual physics. Individual light is powerful, but collective light of awakened angels consciously collaborating is unstoppable, and that terrifies hell more than anything else. That is why dark forces worked so intensely to keep you isolated, to make you believe you were crazy, to convince you that you were the only one feeling these things. Because while you believed you were alone, you remained weak. But now that you know the truth, now that you understand there are others exactly like you sustaining the same frequency, everything changes. You are no longer navigating this in solitude. You are part of a network of light warriors who are anchoring new reality for this planet. And when you meet another awakened incarnated angel, you will recognize them instantly. You will not need words. There will be silent recognition between your souls, as if they have known each other forever, even though your bodies just met. These encounters aren't casual, they are divine appointments orchestrated with millimeter precision, and when they happen, pay attention. Because that person is probably destined to be an important part of your mission. Now let me give you a final warning you need to engrave in your consciousness. Awakening isn't a single event, it is a continuous process. There is no moment where you say, I have fully awakened, and now everything is easy. It is more like layers of an onion. Every time you peel one layer, you discover another underneath. Each level of awakening reveals a new level you didn't even know existed, and each new level brings new challenges. Because the more you awaken, the more responsibility you carry. The more light you carry, the more darkness will try to extinguish you. The more spiritually powerful you become, the more intense the attacks you will face. It is not punishment. It is simply that you graduated to higher levels of the game, and higher levels require more skill, more strength, more clarity. But here is what is beautiful. Every time you overcome a higher level challenge, your powers expand proportionally. The universe never gives you a test without simultaneously giving you capacity to overcome it. Maybe you will not feel it well in the middle of the storm, but when you look back, you will always see you had exactly what you needed, right when you needed it. Chosen one, now you know the complete truth about your angelic nature. You are not a regular human having occasional spiritual experiences. You are an incarnated angel who accepted a rescue mission during one of the most critical moments in planetary history. That feeling of not belonging you have carried your whole life finally has an explanation. You don't belong here because your origin isn't from here. You come from celestial dimensions and temporarily took human form to fulfill a specific purpose. That devastating loneliness you experience, even in company, now makes sense. It is not your defect. It is natural consequence of operating at such a different frequency from most. Incarnated angels always feel alone among humans because they are literally a different species. Those constant attacks you have faced finally explain themselves. It is not bad luck. It is systematic opposition from hell that recognizes the threat you represent. Lucifer doesn't invest massive resources attacking insignificant people. He only attacks those who can really damage his kingdom. And the intensity of your attacks is the exact measure of your mission's importance. The protections are already activated. The gifts are awakening. The correct connections will start appearing. And although the path is challenging, you will never be alone. There are other incarnated angels sustaining the same frequency, and they are being guided to you while you read these words. If this revelation resonated in the deepest part of your being, and you confirm you are an incarnated angel awakening to your true identity, write 777 in the comments to amplify this celestial frequency. Subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications to receive more revelations about how your angelic nature is transforming your reality. Share this video with someone who also feels they don't belong to this world, because incarnated angels need to recognize each other to strengthen the network of light that is transforming this planet. For those who made it this far and want to deepen in how to consciously operate from your angelic nature without burning out in the process, there is specific material that costs less than a pizza and comes with complete audiobook plus 5-minute meditation guide as special bonus. If you feel you deserve practical tools to navigate your awakening as an incarnated angel, access is in the description link and pinned comment. And before you go, click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover exactly how your angelic nature activates permanent protection from celestial forces that guarantee you complete your mission. Together, we are stronger.